starring Lee Marvin.
My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant, M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police. It was 5 weeks after the slaying of mechanic Bill Lucas when we got a request to cooperate with Homicide Division. The captain had set up a meet with Detective Manny Berman of Homicide. Manny and I had been rookies together, and we were old friends.
Beats me. I've been over it 1,000 times, and I can't find a motive.
No truck parts missing?
Company took an inventory. Nothing was missing. You know how these murders are. Somebody goes haywire and pow. But 90% of the time, they confess to it in a matter of hours.
Well, that's usually a spur-of-the-moment thing. Some killers have been known to nurse a grudge for years without anyone knowing it.
How often?
Huh.
We got 5 of these in less than 18 months, and all of them are unsolved.
5?
That's right. Here, February. Packing house worker shot on pay night. Payroll still on him. Here's another one. Clerk in a toy store, done in with a baseball bat. Cash register. Okay.
I remember those.
Here's a cab driver in April. Here's a waiter. And now Lucas.
All these cases yours?
No, but I remembered him when I drew this one.
Could be a psychopath on the loose, Frank.
Oh, I don't know. Beauty of Psycho sticks to the same method or weapon.
Yeah.
You think all these things are linked together, Manny?
No, I don't. Different neighborhood and different job.
And what's bugging you?
Oh, there's something missing, and I can't find it.
Did you interrogate all the witnesses in the Lucas case yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you back check them?
Well, I guess we might as well start somewhere, huh? Berman and I split the list. I drew the family angle. It was footwork, hot and slow. The yield was small. Just that Lucas was a good guy, minded his own business, and had no enemies. I located his mother in a garment district where she worked as a seamstress.
Enemies? You couldn't have known my Bill. He was a good boy. Why, he had no bad friends. He worked from the time his father died.
Well, how long have you been working here?
5 years. I moved out when he married Evelyn. Took a single room.
Did you see much of them?
Not until the past year. Well, Bill used to drop in, but then Evelyn started to come with him. She even came alone a few times. She was with me the night it happened. Came by and took me to a movie.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lucas. Did Bill leave you anything?
I'm sorry. Yes, I've got $500, his insurance policy. I was going to tell Evelyn, but she moved last week.
Do you happen to have her new address?
She didn't tell me. Some apartment place, the janitor said. Lakeview Vista.
Lakeview Vista. All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Lucas. I hope that I haven't disturbed you. Lakeview Vista was a new deluxe apartment development. I put in calls to the renting agent and the phone company. Evelyn Lucas was living there, all right. This was puzzling. I had to get more information about her. Manny Berman had talked to her during the murder investigation, so I had him meet me at M Squad.
You didn't go to see her?
Not after I checked with the rental agent. Those apartments rent for $250 a month.
That's pretty steep for the widow of a mechanic. She hasn't paid her old bills on Taylor Street.
Yeah.
You know, she could have a job in the new apartment, Frank.
She had a phone installed last Thursday under her name.
Hey, I got me an idea.
What's that?
Another man.
Well, we're looking for a link in the 4 cases, Manny. How would that fit in?
All right. Where else would she get the dough?
Insurance? Bill Lucas's mother claims she got $500.
Let's check that again.
Yeah. The job of running down the insurance angle moved swiftly. We made a telephone check with the claims departments of several companies, and we got a break at Municipal Life and Casualty. They'd paid a death claim to Mrs. Evelyn Lucas. I met Berman at the chief investigator's office.
It's a complete file and the canceled check.
Yeah.
$40,000.
$20,000 face value, double indemnity.
This policy was only in effect 7 months.
You don't have to tell me. We paid it.
Okay, make a note of the bank deposit, huh? Wasn't that rather a large policy for a mechanic to have?
Well, I thought so, but all women want security.
Yep. Here's a list of 4 men who were murdered in the past 18 months. Did your company insure any of them?
Nope. I'd remember double indemnity. I can run it through the other companies if you like.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. And we'll be in touch. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Reynolds. I dropped Berman off at Taylor Street to check the neighborhood Evelyn Lucas had moved from. Then I learned something at the bank where the insurance check had cleared. Evelyn had opened a new account there with the insurance money, and she knew how to spend money. I was interested in one particular check she had written for cash.
Yeah. Well, just give me the last amount, huh? 25,000? Well, thanks, Mr. Graham. Frank, those 4 names you gave the insurance company?
Yeah?
Wives collected double indemnity claims on all of them?
All of them?
Every one of them.
There's one for $30,000, 2 for $50, and 1 for $25.
Well, it's no longer a coincidence. Evelyn Lucas drew $10,000 in cash as soon as the check cleared the bank. Can't trace cash. Easiest way in the world to make a payoff.
Especially if you want to get rid of somebody.
Hit the phones. You know, we could be up against a murder syndicate.
It took time, but we located the banks of deposit. The answers matched. Each of the widows had made a large cash withdrawal on the day that she had deposited her insurance check.
So why don't we bring them in?
On what charge? Being a wealthy widow? Look, Manny, most of those older cases have cooled off by now. They feel safe. Let's leave it that way for now, huh?
And do what?
Concentrate on the latest one. Evelyn Lucas. Maybe we can make her nervous, huh? Bluff her into making a phone call.
Look, Frank, we can't tap phones.
We always can trace the calls.
I can get the phone company to cooperate.
Good, and have Davis follow her in case she goes out. And
Right.
What about me?
look, let's play it safe. Huh? She's seen you before.
Find Davis. I want him right away.
Mike was new on M Squad, but he was good. He had a lot to learn, and I knew he'd learn it. I went to Evelyn Lucas to see if she had anything to be frightened about.
Who is it?
Mrs. Lucas?
Yes?
Police.
Who knew?
Yeah. Everything's new, huh?
Does this have something to do with my husband?
No. This has only to do with you. Nice place you got here.
I'm getting fond of it.
A long way from Taylor Street, huh? Insurance.
Bill didn't want me to work in case anything happened to him.
How sweet.
He loved me and I loved him.
Sure, how else?
I don't have to mourn to remember him.
Do you remember him enough to go down to Taylor Street and pay up a few $100s in back bills that are left in his name?
Well, I was half out of my mind. When I got the money, I just wanted to get away. I'll go to the bank tomorrow and draw some money out and pay it.
You've already drawn out $10,000.
Look, it's my money and my business. Now you mind yours and find out who killed my husband.
Okay. But you better get down to Taylor Street and pay those bills. You can have a lawsuit on your hands. They asked me to tell you.
You told me. Thanks, I'll settle it.
Goodbye, Miss Lucas.
Goodbye.
I knew that Mike would follow her, but I checked to make sure. She called a taxi and was taken to a small bar. I kept out of sight and let Mike take over.
The minute he left, I called you.
It wasn't that homicide detective, was it?
No.
He didn't show you any credentials? I don't think it was a cop.
Who else?
An investigator for a credit bureau.
Why would he say police?
To scare you. A detective on a murder case doesn't threaten a lawsuit for a few unpaid bills. Look, it's all right. Or I know it.
How?
I know my business, Evelyn. Just pay the bills, you'll never see him again. Look, now, go home and forget it. I'm expecting a date.
We contacted other police departments, and 2 days later, we received a telephoto of the man Evelyn had met.
You sure, Mike?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Well, here's his record. The Cincinnati police made him. Arthur Wendell Kane, disbarred attorney, 2 years Ohio State pen, released 2 years ago. Specialized in divorce cases, arrested and convicted when a couple reconciled and revealed the decree was obtained by fraud.
And there sure can't be any reconciliations the way he's divorcing him now.
You think he's the murderer, Frank?
No. Probably just the go-between. The killers and the payoffs.
You know, we could put a watch on him around the clock until we hook him.
And wait for another Bill Lucas to happen? No, that's too risky. We've got to pick his next pigeon.
All right, I'll go with that. Who?
Me? Well, all I need is a job, a wife, and a big life insurance policy.
You want to get yourself killed?
No, but I just want to see who's going to try it. Because of the behavior of 5 women, widows of murdered men, we baited a trap for our only male suspect, Arthur Kane. Loretta Kirby, a policewoman, was assigned to be my wife. She was picked for, well, obvious reasons, and her shrewdness. Her aunt would be our chaperone. We rented a modest apartment near Archer Drive. This was only part of my cover. Reynolds, the insurance investigator, agreed to let me pose as a salesman for his company. I was given office space there. Now, it was up to us to bring Loretta into contact with Arthur Kane, to get him interested in her. And I took her out to lunch so we could, go over again what we had in mind for the setup.
Oh, I don't look anything like her at all.
Well, you even sound like her. I've got some of her records on.
And you'd like me to come up and hear them, huh?
Why not? We could get to know each other better.
We could do that right here. Bet you even burn incense.
No. I'm serious.
Well, if it isn't old Stoneface.
New city, same old tricks, huh, Laurie?
Who's the guy?
The guy happens to be the lady's husband.
Husband?
Yeah, get lost.
Happy now, big man? You just like to spoil everything.
Come on, get your coat. We're going home. You want me to drag you out of here?
Yes. Why don't you? I just love it.
You would love it, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Okay, Laurie. Don't hold your breath, honey. Because you're not going to hook me.
Tommy. Invite the lady to have a drink on me.
So we had dinner together, and I told him Frank had been transferred from the Milwaukee office, that we'd been married 9 years, but wouldn't give me a divorce, and that's about it.
Did he ask if he could see you again?
I said no, but he will if I go there again.
He eats in that place about 3-4 times a week.
I got Reynolds to draw me up 3 phony policies with a face value of $50,000. Double indemnity.
Kane will want to see those policies and make sure that Laurie's the beneficiary.
Well, what's the angle?
Did you mention insurance, Laurie?
Too soon. I just concentrated on what a drip I married.
Well, if Kane falls for it, he'll have me followed. And that way we can find out who's working for him.
Yeah, and one of these nights you're going to get hit, but good.
Not until Kane has made his deal with Laurie. She's got to know when it's going to happen to protect herself. That's the one thing in common all these cases had. The wives had a perfect alibi.
Well, all we can do now is wait until Laurie can get Kane to make her an offer.
Loretta baited Kane slowly. He did not play easy to get, but he expressed sympathy for a woman whose husband was unsympathetic. I spent the next week checking in and out of the municipal life like any other agent. I even joined the company's bowling team. It gave me a backache, but it gave Loretta an excuse for longer evenings with Kane. He was interested now, curious about her attempts to patch up an unhappy marriage. He was impressed when he heard that the little woman was well provided for by insurance. And finally, he asked to look over the policies.
Any way I can borrow on them?
Well, not without his signature.
And why'd you ask to see them?
I just wanted to make sure you were protected, that's all. You know, if anything happened to him, you'd be a very lucky girl.
If. He's healthy as a horse. You're a lawyer, Art. Isn't there some way I can shake him?
Not without grounds, and not if you contest it. Unless you're willing to waive alimony.
And wind up with nothing after 9 years? No, thanks. Sometimes I think I'd put something in a soup or something. If I wasn't afraid of being caught.
Well, that wouldn't be very smart.
The way I feel, I'd almost risk it.
For $50,000, you wouldn't have to risk anything.
Is this your idea of a joke?
Could be arranged where you wouldn't have to be anywhere near him.
No, I'd be questioned.
The police are very sensitive to broken-hearted widows. A good alibi satisfies them. Besides, what's a few questions? You're not made of glass, or are you?
25,000.
No, you're not made of glass. 50,000 or forget it.
But I'd like to think it over.
Well, that's fine. You think about it for a few days. In the meantime, you be a nice, loving wife. And don't lose these.
When Kane phoned, Loretta told him to go ahead. He understood what she meant, and that was to kill her husband. The captain tightened the watch on me. For the next 2 weeks, I knew that somebody, but not the police, was observing my movements and habits. I stuck to a strict routine, and it was a comfort to know that Mike or Berman was somewhere nearby. It was late on a Wednesday afternoon when the captain contacted me again.
These are the men, Frank. Manny spotted them. Phil McNary and Mike Polka. Previous convictions for armed robbery and manslaughter.
Polka was Kane's cellmate in Ohio. Got out 2 months after him.
What's their setup?
Nothing that fits. Cheap midtown hotel. Certainly not the way Kane lives.
Hello? Hold on. Captain.
Yeah. Speaking. Oh, yeah, Laurie. You're not calling from the apartment, are you? Good girl. No, you go back there and wait. You do just what they tell you to do. Right. It's tonight, Frank.
She know where?
Somewhere between the bowling alley and home. She's going to visit a friend with her aunt.
You have to drive through about 2 miles of deserted factories. Not even a cat around at that time of night.
You know, they could gun you in the parking lot.
Yeah. But why not, huh? Let's make him fight us on our own grounds. I'll be one of the last to leave the bowling alley. This will make him impatient. And then when they try to take me, you move in. We gotta catch him in the intent.
I'll buy that. I'll meet you back at the office around 5, huh?
5-0. Just don't cut it too thin, huh?
Don't worry, I won't.
You know, Frank, this is really my squeal. We've been friends a long time.
The only reason I'm sticking my neck out is I know that you'll be there when it counts.
I'll be there.
Let's get him.
I've got one of your men.
Don't come in, Frank! I'll be hit! Wait for him!
And back my car into the alley. And leave it running. And clear that street or I'll kill him.
He'll kill me anyhow, Frank! Don't come in!
You've got 1 minute. And don't follow us.
Back the car in.
What?
He'll kill Manny.
Let me go in after Polka.
You want to take the responsibility for Manny's life? Back the car in.
Boss.
Frank, I can't take a chance. We can alert the patrol cars. We can move as long as he's got Berman.
Get out of the alley!
I'd seen the car backed into the alley. I'd seen Polka drive away with his hostage, Manny Berman. We had no choice. We hoped to save Manny's life somehow. But now was the worst part. We had to wait. 1:15.
All right, we're waiting too.
You think one of those patrol cars would have found him by now?
Kane left the bar 20 minutes ago. He got a phone call and left in a hurry.
Sure, a meeting with Polka, but where?
Captain Gray. Yeah? Where? All right, I'll be right there. They found the car abandoned on Garfield just off Drexel.
And Manny.
He's alive, but he's in bad shape.
Just one question, boss. Did Polka hit him again?
Yeah.
Garfield and Drexel, that's just a half a mile from Lakeview Vista.
Evelyn Lucas.
You bet your life. Let's go.
He came in like an ape. Woke me up, says you sent him. Said something about money. Hurts my arm. He made me phone you. Get him out of here.
Nobody's getting me any place until I get a car and a nice little green bundle. We can't get to a bank until morning. I ought to take you apart. A rotten grand you gave us and you collected 10.
It's a service buzz in the kitchen.
Well, who at this hour would be calling?
Get him out of here.
Come on, let's go. Every time I think what he did to Manny, Arthur Kane and Mike Polka tried to talk each other into a death cell. They both succeeded. Evelyn and the other widows drew life terms. I only cared about Manny Berman, who'd been so worried about me.
Squad. Starring Lee Marvin.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Ballinger, Detective Frank Ballinger from the M Squad. You know, the most popular show on television. I'm here to give you kiddos a little advice. Now, I realize there's a lot of peer pressure from other viewers in school to maybe engage in some shady activity like toking down some reefer, or maybe doing the after-school circle jerk or play spin the bottle with cute girls from school. But let me tell you right here and now that those sorts of activities just aren't the manly thing to do. No. What you need to do is to like and subscribe, and take the big jump and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified when new content is released. Don't be a spaz. Like and subscribe. Captain Gray will be awfully happy if you do, if you know what I mean.